I first heard about the well from a letter that appeared in my mailbox one cold autumn morning. The envelope was old, the paper brittle as if it had traveled through decades of dust and history. It wasn't addressed to anyone specifically, just my house number. Inside was a single, neatly written sentence. Come to the Whispering Well, midnight. Tell it your regret and it will grant your wish, but at a price. It seemed like some kind of sick joke. I tossed the letter aside, but that night I couldn't shake the feeling that something about it was real, compelling even. I had regrets, plenty of them, but none that I could just forget. The death of my best friend Amy had haunted me for years. The guilt twisted inside me like a knife. She died in the woods, in the very place the letter had mentioned. Amy had vanished one night during a storm, leaving only a faint trail in the mud where she had walked. Her disappearance shook the whole town, but no one knew what happened. No one but me. I had been there, a few steps behind her, when she wandered off toward the forest's edge. I called for her, but the wind swallowed my voice, and when I found her it was too late. She was gone, taken by something I couldn't understand. I decided to go. The woods were always ominous at night, but tonight they felt suffocating. The trees seemed to close in around me, the branches like arms reaching to pull me deeper. The moon was hidden behind thick clouds, leaving the path almost entirely dark. Only the faint glow of my flashlight pierced the black. As I walked, the world felt too still. It was like the woods were watching, waiting. The letter had told me to come to the well, and so when I reached the clearing, I knew I'd found it. It was an ancient stone well, overgrown with moss and vines. A faint glow emitted from the depths, flickering like a dying flame. The air smelled damp and ancient, as though this well had existed long before I was born. I approached it cautiously, my heartbeat loud in my chest. The whispers that filled the air were subtle at first, like the faint rustling of leaves, but they grew clearer. They were words, soft, almost imperceptible, but they called to me. My name, Eliza. I flinched, my eyes darting around. No one was there, just the well. The whispers didn't stop, they grew louder. Tell it your regret. The wind picked up, rustling the leaves around me as the whispering turned to a soft chant. It sounded almost like Amy's voice, calling to me from the well, reminding me of that night. I kneeled beside the well, the stone cold beneath my hands. I closed my eyes. I felt the weight of my guilt flood my chest, guilt I had carried for years, suffocating me, holding me back from moving on. I thought of Amy, of the way she had looked before she disappeared, her smile, her laughter, and then I whispered, the words slipping out before I could stop them. I regret not going after her. I regret not stopping her. There was a long pause. The whispers ceased. Then a voice came from the depths, not like Amy's, but something deeper, older. It rumbled in my chest, vibrating in the air around me. Your regret will be heard. The air around the well grew colder, the temperature dropping drastically. My breath came out in visible clouds. I stood up abruptly, my eyes wide. The glow from the well began to brighten, and I felt a presence, something dark, emerging from within. Suddenly, the stone around the well cracked, and the earth beneath me trembled. The whispers returned, now joined by a loud, insistent thrum like a heartbeat pounding in my ears. My hands trembled as I stepped back, but my legs were rooted to the spot, as if the ground itself had claimed me. Make your wish, Eliza, the voice growled. You want her back, do you not? I wanted to scream, but no sound came. I didn't know what was happening. The air shifted, pulling me forward. The well's glow brightened as if it was drawing me in. I reached my hand toward it, and then it happened. My fingers brushed against the cold stone, and I was hit with an overwhelming vision. I saw Amy, but it wasn't the Amy I remembered. This was something else, something hollow and twisted. Her face was gaunt, her eyes wide and empty, and her mouth hung open in a silent scream. Her body contorted, her limbs stretching out of unnatural angles, as if she had been pulled from the depths of the well itself. Come back, Eliza, her voice whispered. But it wasn't her. It wasn't Amy. It was something else, something that wore her skin. I stumbled back, gasping for air, but the ground shifted beneath me. The world around me began to blur, spinning uncontrollably. The whispers reached a crescendo, and before I could react, I felt myself being pulled into the well. The dark shape that was once Amy's face lunged at me, its cold hands grabbing mine. With a cry, I pulled myself free. stumbling backward, falling onto the cold, wet ground. The whispering stopped instantly, the eerie presence fading as quickly as it had come. The well stood silent once more, but the echoes of the voice lingered in the air. I don't remember how I made it back to my car, but when I got there, I could feel the weight of something watching me. As I drove home, my phone buzzed in the passenger seat. I grabbed it without thinking and opened the message. It was from Amy's old number. "I'm coming back, Eliza, just like you wanted." I drove faster, the road winding ahead, but I knew, deep down, I had made a terrible mistake. The price of my wish was much darker than I had ever imagined, and now I was trapped in a bargain I couldn't undo.